London Journey Part 9. It's going to be kind of a short and sweet one, I think. Going to give you a few updates and then we're going to ask some questions. But it's getting to that time of the school year where dissertations are starting to happen. So I've been quite busy prepping for my own. If you want to know anything about post-activation potentiation, you let me know because I've been doing a tremendous amount of reading regarding it. So I have study after study after study that I would be happy to discuss with you. And we start testing next week. Those are about the most details that I'm going to give you. But I'm quite excited to get going on it because I'll be well ahead of some of my other classmates, which might give me a slightly more free summer, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do a second study. But this week we had another guest speaker in our biomechanics lecture since Dr. Stuart Miller left. They've been filling it with a bunch of pretty awesome other local biomechanists. And it's funny because literally all of them are pretty salty in regards to the use of sport technology without having a defining question beforehand. So basically just it's stupid to have something that gives you answers if you don't have the question, which is something we have covered repeatedly. And obviously that also makes me in good company because I hate people who seek answers when you don't even know the question. But he did pose a question that I found quite, refreshing, interesting. He asked, "What is your philosophy?" And on the surface, that seems pretty basic, like, oh, we all have a philosophy. But he challenged it further and said that if our answer is to improve performance or to make somebody better without injuring or limiting injuries and preventing injuries, that he was going to tear us apart. Because obviously as coaches, that's our duties for starters. So I don't necessarily think your job duties can be your philosophy. And I will admit that I hedged a little bit in regards to what my personal philosophy is, in regards to my job anyway. And in talking with my classmates, what it boils down to for me is that I want someone to move better within themselves. Basically, I want them to human better, because if they human better for their own body, then performance will kind of handle itself. The injury prevention will handle itself. So, kind of hedged my bets a little bit, but having learned a lot of things the hard, very, very painful way, thank you, hip labrum, I don't want my athletes to go down that same road. And I don't want them to have to experience some of the injuries that I've experienced. So if it's within my power to make them technically more sound within their own body, because Lord knows I've worked with some very different people, from a 6'11" volleyball guy down to a 5-foot cross-country runner. I can tell you most definitively that they don't move the same. They don't have the same injury history. They're just two different people, so I can't train them the same way. So I'm not going to, because they're just not going to respond. But I want people to move and human better within themselves. And if they learn something about themselves along the way, that's actually the real goal, is to educate them about themselves. Now, there are a few that you can poke and you can prod, and eventually you just kind of have to let Darwin take the wheel and hope for the best. Natural selection, wish it would kind of hurry up sometimes. mostly when I'm riding the bus and I hate people. But that's another story. But my question to you is, what is your philosophy? What do you stand for? And we're inundated daily with all of the Instagram motivational this and inspo that and fitspo this, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. Because you know what? If you have to tell people that you're motivational, then you're probably not motivational. Maybe. I mean, your 20 followers might disagree, but what do I know? But that's just the jaded, cynical side of me. But what I would rather people do is go out and live everything you're trying to preach and stop preaching it. Something about be the change you wish to see in the world. Basically, what that means is stop talking, start doing, let your actions speak louder than words, because I think that's the more important thing. But my questions for you: what is your philosophy? It can be your coaching philosophy, your philosophy as an athlete, whatever you're doing for a career. If you're a parent, what's your parenting philosophy? Because I actually really want to hear back from you guys. And that's like, and I feel really cheesy asking that, but I want to know. I want to know what drives other people. What drives you? But other than that, what I'm actually also going to ask is, what questions do you want answered? What scientific questions do you want answered? Let's start a dialogue, because that's actually what I was kind of hoping to do to begin with. So, what drives you? What's your philosophy? And what more do you want to know in the world of strength and conditioning? But until next time, cheers.